We want to use the half-angle formula to find the exact value of sine of 105. So if we had sine of something divided in half, let's double 105. That's going to give us 210. Well, 210 is a unit circle value, so we can use the half-angle formula to figure this out exactly. So in general, we know sine of an angle divided by 2 equals plus or minus, it's not both, we'll need to determine which sign, 1 minus, sine is minus. The half-angle formulas look the same for sine and cosine, but one's a plus right here and one's a minus, and the sine is minus. And that would be cosine theta over 2. So let's go ahead and utilize that. Let's figure out then what quadrant 105 is in, and we know 105 is in quadrant 2 because it's larger than 90 but smaller than 180, and the sign is positive in quadrant 2, so we will want this positive value, so we don't need to write the value since it's positive. We will have 1 minus cosine of 210 degrees over 2. Now let's go ahead, I'm going to put it down below here and simplify our unit circle value. We know that 210 is in quadrant 3. In fact, it's 30 past 180, so it's right here. If I was figuring out those, it's bigger x, littler y, so it's square root 3 over 2 and 1/2, but in quadrant 3, both x's and y values are negative, so we need negatives on both of those. Now what we need then for our formula is we need the cosine, which is negative square root 3 over 2, and then that's over 2. Now we're going to want to simplify that a little bit, and so that we don't have a fraction within a fraction. So we are going to make this 2 over 2 so that we have a common denominator, and that will become 2. Negative and negative will make a positive, square root 3, and that's going to be over 2. And then this bottom here, we can invert and multiply this fraction that's on the bottom, or this number that's on the bottom. We made it a fraction. We can flip that over. And so it looks like our final answer in exact form for this would be 2 plus square root of 3 over 4, multiplying these two 2's together. Now, one last thing we could do, the radical applies to the numerator and it applies to the denominator, and we could then put the radical over the numerator, square root of 2 plus square root of 3 over, and it's not in the denominator anymore because we could square root the 4, and that would become a 2.